What if I told you that the most dangerous substance in your diet is not listed on any food label? What if this hidden chemical is quietly increasing your cancer risk every single day, and you have no idea it is there? Today, we're talking about acrylamide, a toxic compound that forms in many popular foods. This substance is more harmful than high-fructose corn syrup, more dangerous than refined sugar, and worse than unhealthy vegetable oils. Scientific studies show that acrylamide is a probable cancer-causing agent in humans, a powerful neurotoxin that damages your brain and nervous system, and a chemical that can harm your reproductive organs. The scary part is that you will never see acrylamide listed as an ingredient. Why? Because it is not added to food. It forms during cooking and processing. But do not worry, by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to protect yourself and your family from this hidden threat. If you're serious about protecting your health naturally, make sure to subscribe to Vigorphil for more life-saving information like this. What exactly is acrylamide? Let me explain this in the simplest way possible. Acrylamide is a chemical compound that forms when certain foods are cooked at high temperatures. It is not something food manufacturers add intentionally. Instead, it appears as a byproduct when specific ingredients mix together under heat. Here is how it happens. When you combine a particular amino acid called asparagine with refined sugars, then cook them at temperatures above 285 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius, a chemical reaction occurs. Scientists call this the Maillard reaction. This reaction creates acrylamide. Think about what happens when you toast bread until it turns golden brown, or when French fries get that crispy exterior. That browning process, while it makes food taste good, is actually creating acrylamide. The darker and crispier the food becomes, the more acrylamide it contains. But it gets worse. Once acrylamide forms, it creates another byproduct called glucidomide. This secondary compound is even more dangerous than acrylamide itself. Glucidomide is the substance that causes the most serious damage to your cells and DNA, leading to cancer development. Research studies on mice and rats have clearly demonstrated the cancer-causing potential of this chemical. Multiple international cancer research organizations have confirmed these findings. Even the Environmental Protection Agency classifies acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen. The truly alarming fact is that approximately 40% of the foods in our modern diet contain acrylamide. That means nearly half of what many people eat every day includes this toxic substance. The chemistry behind acrylamide formation. Let me break down the science a little more so you understand what creates this dangerous compound. The key player is an amino acid called asparagine. This amino acid is naturally present in many plant foods, especially in corn, wheat, rice, and soy products. On its own, asparagine is harmless. The problem starts when you combine it with certain types of sugars during high-heat cooking. But not just any sugar creates this reaction. Natural sugars like those found in sugarcane or honey do not typically cause acrylamide formation. The real culprits are highly refined sugars such as glucose, dextrose, glucose syrup, and maltodextrin. These synthetic sugars have been processed so intensively that they behave differently during cooking. When manufacturers add these refined sugars to foods containing asparagine, then apply high heat, the chemical reaction begins. Modified food starch and modified cornstarch also contribute to this problem. These ingredients appear in countless processed foods, from snacks to baked goods. Because they are so heavily processed, they convert to sugar very quickly in the presence of heat, creating the perfect conditions for acrylamide formation. The cooking method matters tremendously. When you fry, bake, roast, or toast foods at high temperatures, you create the ideal environment for this toxic reaction. The longer the cooking time and the higher the temperature, the more acrylamide develops. Common foods that contain high levels of acrylamide. Now that you understand how acrylamide forms, let me tell you which foods contain the highest amounts. This information is crucial because it helps you make better choices every single day. Potato chips and corn chips are among the worst offenders. These snack foods combine starchy potatoes or corn with oils and high heat, creating massive amounts of acrylamide. Every crunchy bite delivers a dose of this toxic chemical. French fries from fast food restaurants contain extremely high levels. These fries are made from potatoes rich in asparagine, coated with starches and sugars, then fried at very high temperatures in vegetable oils. This combination creates the perfect storm for acrylamide production. Crackers and cookies from a store are loaded with refined flour, modified starches, and synthetic sugars. When baked at high temperatures, these ingredients produce significant amounts of acrylamide. The crispier and more golden brown these products are, the more acrylamide they contain. Breakfast cereals, especially the toasted and puff varieties, contain concerning levels. The high heat processing used to create that crunchy texture also creates acrylamide. Many popular cereals that people eat every morning are delivering this toxin to their bodies. Baked goods with crusts like bread, pastries, and pizza develop acrylamide in their brown, crispy edges. That delicious golden crust that everyone loves is actually where the highest concentration of this chemical forms. Roasted coffee also contains acrylamide because coffee beans are roasted at high temperatures. However, I have good news about coffee that I will share with you in just a moment. If you're finding this information valuable and want to learn more ways to protect your health naturally, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our health-saving videos. Why vegetable oils make the problem worse? Here is something most people do not realize. The type of oil used for frying and cooking dramatically affects acrylamide formation. Highly processed vegetable oils, which are used in almost all commercial food production and fast food restaurants, actually increase the production of this toxic chemical. These seed oils become damaged and oxidized when heated to high temperatures. This damage creates additional harmful compounds on top of the acrylamide that is already forming. So you're getting multiple types of toxic substances from a single serving of fried food. On the other hand, stable fats behave very differently. Saturated fats like coconut oil actually protect against acrylamide formation. When foods are cooked in these natural fats instead of vegetable oils, the amount of acrylamide produced drops significantly. This is a fascinating piece of history. Before the 1990s, McDonald's fried their French fries in beef tallow, which is a saturated animal fat. Even though those fries contain potatoes and starches, they produced far less acrylamide than today's fries that are cooked in vegetable oils. Now, I do not recommend eating French fries regardless of what they are cooked in. But this example shows how the type of fat used for cooking makes a huge difference in how toxic the final product becomes. If restaurants and food manufacturers switched from vegetable oils to coconut oil for frying, the cancer risk from their products would decrease immediately. The food would still not be ideal for health, but it would be significantly less toxic. The serious health dangers of acrylamide. Let me be very clear about why you should care about avoiding acrylamide. This is not a minor concern. The health effects are severe and well documented by scientific research. First and foremost, acrylamide is a potent neurotoxin. This means it damages your nervous system and brain. It interferes with the normal function of nerve cells and can cause numbness, weakness, and problems with coordination. Long-term exposure affects memory, concentration, and cognitive function. Second, acrylamide, and especially its byproduct glicidamide, damage your DNA. This DNA damage is what leads to cancer development. The compound specifically targets the genetic material inside your cells, creating mutations that can turn normal cells into cancer cells. Third, acrylamide harms reproductive organs in both men and women. Animal studies show that exposure affects fertility and can cause problems with reproductive system development. While more research is needed in humans, the animal data is concerning enough to take seriously. Cancer is the second most common cause of death worldwide. More people are developing cancer at younger ages than ever before. While factors like smoking and excessive drinking are well-known cancer risks, acrylamide exposure from food is flying under the radar as a major contributor. The problem is especially serious for children and teenagers. Studies show that ultra-processed foods make up 67% of the calories that teenagers consume. Adults get more than 50% of their calories from ultra-processed foods, and even toddlers get nearly half their calories from these products. These ultra-processed foods are exactly the ones highest in acrylamide. An entire generation is growing up consuming massive amounts of this cancer-causing chemical every single day, often multiple times per day. How to reduce acrylamide in your diet. Now for the good news. You have the power to dramatically reduce your acrylamide exposure starting right now. Let me give you practical strategies that work. First, focus on eating whole, unprocessed plant foods. Fresh vegetables, fruits, beans, lentils, and whole grains in their natural state do not contain acrylamide. The more your diet consists of these foods, the less acrylamide you consume. Second, when you cook at home, use gentler cooking methods. Slow cooking, steaming, and boiling do not produce acrylamide because these methods keep temperatures below the threshold where the chemical forms. For example, when you slow cook vegetables or beans at around 260 degrees Fahrenheit, you avoid creating acrylamide entirely. Third, if you do bake or roast foods at home, use natural sweeteners instead of refined sugars. While I'm not encouraging you to consume a lot of sugar of any kind, using natural options like date paste or maple syrup instead of white sugar or corn syrup will reduce acrylamide formation. Fourth, when cooking with fats and oils, choose coconut oil for any high-heat cooking. Coconut oil is a saturated fat that remains stable at high temperatures and actually helps prevent acrylamide formation. Avoid using vegetable oils for cooking whenever possible. Fifth, eliminate or drastically reduce your consumption of the high-risk foods I mentioned earlier. Say no to potato chips, corn chips, fast food French fries, commercial crackers and cookies, and heavily toasted or fried foods. Special note about coffee. Many of you probably drink coffee regularly, just like I do. So let me address the acrylamide concern with coffee specifically. Yes, roasted coffee does contain acrylamide because of the high-heat roasting process. However, there's a simple solution. Choose organic dark roast coffee or espresso. When coffee beans are roasted to very high temperatures, around 400 degrees Fahrenheit, something interesting happens. The acrylamide becomes unstable at these extreme temperatures and actually breaks down and disappears. Light roast coffee contains approximately 10 times more acrylamide than dark roast coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, switching to dark roast eliminates most of your acrylamide exposure from coffee. This is an easy change that makes a big difference. Protective foods that neutralize acrylamide. Here is some truly empowering information. Certain plant foods contain compounds that actively protect your body against acrylamide damage. Even if you accidentally consume some acrylamide, eating these protective foods alongside it can reduce the harm. Cruciferous vegetables are your first line of defense. Broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and arugula contain special sulfur compounds that help your body detoxify acrylamide. These vegetables activate your body's natural detoxification enzymes, helping you eliminate the toxin before it causes damage. Garlic is another powerful protector. The sulfur compounds in garlic have been shown in research studies to reduce acrylamide toxicity. Including fresh garlic in your daily diet gives you ongoing protection. Sprouts, especially broccoli sprouts, contain concentrated amounts of protective compounds. These young plants have up to 100 times more protective substances than mature vegetables. Adding a handful of sprouts to your salads or meals provides exceptional protection. Foods high in vitamin C act as antioxidants that counteract acrylamide damage. Bell peppers, especially red ones, contain massive amounts of vitamin C. Citrus fruits like lemons and limes also provide this protection. Fermented foods like sauerkraut give you both vitamin C and beneficial bacteria that support detoxification. Green tea contains powerful antioxidants called catechins that have been proven to protect against acrylamide toxicity. Drinking 2 to 3 cups of green tea daily provides significant protective benefits. Spirulina, a type of blue-green algae, has shown remarkable ability to protect cells from acrylamide damage. This superfood contains proteins and antioxidants that help your body repair damage and eliminate toxins. Adding a teaspoon of spirulina powder to your morning smoothie is an excellent protective strategy. The key point is this. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you must eat food that might contain acrylamide, pair that food with several of these protective plants. This combination approach significantly reduces the potential harm. Taking action for your health. Let me summarize the most important actions you can take starting today. Your health is in your hands, and these simple changes can dramatically reduce your cancer risk. Stop buying and eating ultra-processed snack foods. Those bags of chips, boxes of crackers, and packages of cookies are poison in disguise. Replace them with fresh fruits, raw vegetables with hummus, or homemade snacks made with whole ingredients. Avoid fast food, especially fried items. Fast food restaurants use the worst possible combination of ingredients and cooking methods to create maximum acrylamide. The money you save by not eating fast food can go toward buying organic produce instead. Cook more meals at home using whole plant ingredients. When you control what goes into your food and how it is prepared, you control your acrylamide exposure. Use gentle cooking methods like steaming, slow cooking, and light sautéing. Fill your diet with protective plant foods every single day. Make cruciferous vegetables a regular part of your meals. Drink green tea. Add garlic to your cooking. Include sprouts in your salads. These foods do not just help you avoid harm. They actively protect and heal your body. Read ingredient labels carefully and avoid products containing modified food starch, modified cornstarch, maltodextrin, dextrose, and glucose syrup. These ingredients signal that acrylamide will form when the product is processed or cooked. Conclusion: acrylamide is a serious health threat that most people know nothing about. This cancer-causing, brain-damaging chemical is hiding in nearly half the foods in the modern diet. But now you know the truth. You understand how it forms, which foods contain it, and most importantly, how to protect yourself. Knowledge is power, but only when you take action. I encourage you to make these changes gradually, but consistently. Start by eliminating the worst offenders from your diet. Then add more protective plant foods. Your body will thank you with better health, more energy, and reduced disease risk. Which of these protective foods will you start adding to your diet first? Let me know in the comments below, and do not forget to subscribe to Vigorphil for more natural health tips that can transform your life. Remember, cancer is largely preventable when you make informed choices about what you eat. You now have the knowledge you need to protect yourself and your loved ones from this hidden poison. Share this information with people you care about. Together, we can spread awareness and help more people take control of their health naturally. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video where we continue exploring the truth about natural health and wellness.